Take a slow breath, pause for a moment, and ask yourself something honest. Why do small things disturb you so deeply? Why does one comment ruin your mood? Why does one delay destroy your focus? Why does one failure shake your confidence? The answer is simple. Because you are trying to control things that were never yours to control. And this is exactly where Stoic philosophy begins. The first rule: control what you can. More than 2,000 years ago, a former slave named Epictetus taught a powerful truth. Some things are in our control, and some things are not. Your thoughts, in your control. Your actions, in your control. Your effort, in your control. But other people's opinions, not in your control. The weather, not in your control. The past, not in your control. The outcome, not fully in your control. Yet most people spend 90% of their energy fighting what they cannot control, and then they wonder why they feel exhausted. The illusion of control. You think if you plan enough, if you prepare enough, if you worry enough, nothing will go wrong. But life does not follow your script. Traffic happens, people disappoint, opportunities disappear, mistakes occur. The Stoic does not say, "Why is this happening to me?" He says, "This is happening. Now what? What is my best response?" That shift changes everything. Emotional discipline. You cannot stop emotions from appearing, but you can stop them from controlling you. When someone insults you, you have two options: react emotionally or respond intelligently. Reaction is automatic, response is trained, and Stoicism is mental training. The space between event and reaction. There is a space between what happens and how you respond. Most people never notice this space. They live on autopilot. But the Stoic pauses. In that pause, power is born. Strength is quiet. Look at powerful people. The truly strong ones are calm. They don't shout to prove dominance. They don't argue to prove intelligence. They don't react to every provocation because they understand something deeper. If someone can control your emotions, they control you. Anger is a choice. Anger feels powerful, but it is weakness disguised as strength. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, later known as Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Think about that carefully. You cannot control what someone says, but you can control what you believe about what they say. That is mental sovereignty. Hardship is training. Most people pray for an easy life. The Stoic trains for a difficult one. Why? Because difficulty builds resilience. Pressure builds character. Comfort builds weakness. If you avoid discomfort, you avoid growth. If you avoid risk, you avoid opportunity. If you avoid struggle, you avoid strength. The Stoic morning routine. Before starting the day, imagine you will meet difficult people. You will face delays. You will experience frustration. Now, when these things happen, you are not surprised. You are prepared. Preparation reduces emotional shock, and emotional stability creates clarity. Stop taking things personally. Not everything is about you. Someone's bad mood? Probably their problem. Someone's criticism? Maybe their insecurity. Someone's rejection? Maybe their limitation. When you stop personalizing everything, peace increases. The power of perspective. Imagine looking at your problem from space, from above the earth, from outside your life. Suddenly, that argument looks small. That delay looks temporary. That fear looks manageable. Perspective shrinks problems. Emotion enlarges them. Choose perspective. Discipline over motivation. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is structural. Motivation says, "I feel like doing it." Discipline says, "It needs to be done." The Stoic builds discipline because emotions change daily. Principles do not. Wealth is not security. Money is useful, but it is not security. Security comes from internal stability. If you lose money, can you rebuild? If you lose status, can you stay calm? If you lose approval, can you stand alone? That is real power. The fear of judgment. Many people do not act because they fear judgment. But think carefully. The same people judging you are also afraid of being judged. Everyone is trapped in their own insecurity. So why surrender your potential to someone else's opinion? Negative visualization, training the mind for reality. Most people imagine success. The Stoic imagines loss, not to become pessimistic, but to become prepared. This practice was common among Stoic thinkers like Seneca. He advised people to mentally rehearse hardship. Imagine losing your comfort. Imagine losing status. Imagine losing money. Even imagine losing people you love. Why? Because what you mentally accept cannot emotionally destroy you. When loss becomes possible in your mind, gratitude becomes stronger in your heart. Attachment is the root of suffering. You suffer not because things change, you suffer because you expected them not to. Everything in life is temporary. Youth fades, wealth fluctuates, relationships evolve, health shifts, yet we act shocked when change arrives. The Stoic trains himself to expect change, and when change comes, he adapts instead of collapsing. Memento mori. Remember, you will die. This may sound dark, but it is powerful. Memento mori. Remember, you will die. Even emperors like Marcus Aurelius reflected daily on mortality. Why think about death? Because awareness of death clarifies life. When you remember time is limited, petty arguments lose importance. Procrastination becomes dangerous. Excuses become embarrassing. You stop wasting hours. You start respecting minutes. Time is your most valuable currency. Money lost can return. Reputation damaged can rebuild. Skills forgotten can relearn. But time never returns. Every scroll, every distraction, every delay is a piece of life spent. The Stoic asks daily, is this worthy of my limited time? Emotional independence. If someone praises you, you feel good. If someone criticizes you, you feel bad. Why? Because you handed them emotional control. Emotional independence means you listen to feedback, but you do not depend on it. You value respect, but you do not beg for it. You accept criticism, but you do not collapse under it. Your inner state should not depend on external approval. The problem is not the event. A delayed flight is neutral. An insult is neutral. A failure is neutral. It is your interpretation that creates suffering. This was central in Stoic teaching, especially by Epictetus. He taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Two people can face the same problem. One grows stronger, one becomes bitter. The difference is perspective. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Modern life makes comfort easy. Food delivered, entertainment unlimited, distraction constant. But comfort weakens resilience. The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort. Cold baths, simple meals, minimal possessions. Not because they had to, but because they wanted to train their mind. If you can handle discomfort voluntarily, unexpected hardship cannot break you. Your reputation is not you. People will misunderstand you. They will judge you based on limited information. They will create stories about you. But remember this, their opinion is a reflection of their perception, not your reality. Your character is built by your actions, not by their assumptions. Focus on integrity. Ignore noise. The discipline of silence. Most arguments are unnecessary. Most debates are ego battles. Most explanations are attempts to seek validation. The Stoic practices silence. Silence protects energy. Silence prevents regret. Silence increases power. Not every opinion deserves a response. Not every criticism deserves your time. The power of daily reflection. At night, ask yourself, what did I do well today? Where did I lose emotional control? What can I improve tomorrow? This habit builds awareness, and awareness builds mastery. Without reflection, mistakes repeat. With reflection, growth accelerates. The illusion of urgency. Modern culture creates fake urgency. Reply fast, react instantly, respond immediately. But most things are not urgent. They feel urgent. The Stoic pauses. He thinks. He chooses his response deliberately. Speed is not strength. Clarity is. Strength is quiet. Strength is not loud. It is
Avoiding emotional contagion. Emotions spread. Panic spreads. Anger spreads. Negativity spreads. The Stoic does not absorb every emotional wave around him. He observes without absorbing. You can be near chaos without becoming chaotic. That is mastery. Purpose over popularity. Popularity feels good, but it fades. Purpose gives direction. Ask yourself, why am I doing what I am doing? For validation or for meaning? When purpose is clear, opinions matter less. Distractions reduce. Focus sharpens. The power of saying no. Every yes costs time. Every yes costs energy. The Stoic says no to unnecessary drama, time-wasting habits, people who drain focus. Saying no protects your mission. Not everything deserves access to you. Build a resilient identity. Instead of saying, I am stressed, say, I am learning to handle pressure. Instead of, I am bad at this, say, I am improving. Identity shapes behavior. Choose empowering identity. Repeat it daily. Live it consistently. The Stoic standard. The world changes daily. Trends change. Opinions change. But principles remain stable. Build your life on principles. Integrity, discipline, patience, courage, wisdom. These do not expire. Stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is temporary. It rises, it falls. The Stoic builds routine. Routine removes decision fatigue. Routine builds consistency. Consistency builds results. Do not wait to feel ready. Start. You are responsible for your character. You cannot control circumstances, but you can control character. You cannot choose every event, but you can choose every response. And response builds reputation. Not online reputation, but internal reputation. The one that matters. Long-term thinking changes everything. Most people think in days. Some think in months. Very few think in decades. The Stoic thinks long-term. When insulted, he asks, will this matter in 5 years? When stressed, he asks, is this permanent? When tempted, he asks, will this decision strengthen or weaken me long-term? Short-term emotion creates long-term regret. Long-term thinking creates stability. Master emotional neutrality. Emotional neutrality does not mean becoming cold. It means becoming steady. When something good happens, enjoy it, but do not become dependent on it. When something bad happens, acknowledge it, but do not become defined by it. Stay balanced. Extremes create instability. Stability creates power. Do not be controlled by praise. Praise feels good. It feeds the ego. But praise can trap you. If you become addicted to approval, you will start shaping your behavior to please others instead of acting from principles. The Stoic accepts praise calmly and criticism calmly. Neither defines him. Live in alignment. Alignment means your values match your actions, your words match your behavior, your goals match your effort. When alignment exists, inner conflict disappears. When misalignment exists, stress increases. Integrity is inner peace. The strength of solitude. Learn to sit alone, without distraction, without noise, without validation. Solitude strengthens clarity. It reveals your true thoughts. Many people fear silence because it exposes their mind. The Stoic embraces it. You are not your thoughts. Thoughts appear automatically. Some are negative, some are fearful, some are irrational, but they are not you. You are the observer of them. When you stop identifying with every thought, mental freedom increases. Observe. Do not immediately react. Build a life of substance. Chasing trends creates emptiness. Chasing purpose creates fulfillment. Ask yourself, if nobody applauded me, would I still do this? If yes, you are aligned. If no, you are performing. Choose substance over performance. Accept the nature of the world. The world is unpredictable. Markets crash, people change, health shifts, opportunities disappear. The Stoic does not demand stability from the world. He builds stability within himself. External chaos, internal order. That is the formula. The final mental shift. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are a participant in life. Events happen, but interpretation creates meaning. Choose empowering interpretation. Instead of, this ruined my life, say, this is training. Instead of, this is unfair, say, this is reality. Reality is neutral. Your response gives it power. Imagine the strongest version of you. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the strongest version of yourself. Calm under pressure, disciplined daily, unshaken by criticism, focused on purpose. Now ask, what would that version of me do today? Then act accordingly. Identity creates behavior. Behavior creates destiny. The Stoic Code. Control what you can. Accept what you cannot. Train your mind daily. Respect time. Detach from outcomes. Act with integrity. Remain calm. Stay disciplined. Build character. Everything else is temporary. When life becomes difficult, it will. That is guaranteed. But difficulty does not mean defeat. It means development. The tree grows stronger against the wind. The mind grows stronger against adversity. Do not ask for an easy life. Ask for strength. Calm is your superpower. In a world addicted to reaction, be intentional. In a world addicted to noise, be thoughtful. In a world addicted to drama, be stable. Calm minds make powerful decisions. Powerful decisions build powerful lives. The final reflection. One day, your name will be spoken for the last time. Your work will either leave impact or fade unnoticed. Your character will either inspire or be forgotten. Time is moving. Every second. Use it wisely. Build something meaningful. Live with principles. Train your mind. Master your emotions. And when chaos arrives, stand firm. That is the Stoic way.
It is steady. The strongest person in the room is often the calmest because he does not need to prove power. He knows it. When insulted, he smiles. When challenged, he stays grounded. When pressured, he thinks clearly. Calm is dominance. You cannot control outcomes. You can prepare perfectly. You can work hard. You can plan intelligently and still fail. That is life. The Stoic focuses on effort, not outcome. If you did your best with integrity, the result becomes secondary. Peace comes from knowing you acted correctly. Freedom through detachment. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. You work hard, but you are not destroyed by results. You love deeply, but you understand people are temporary. You build wealth, but you know it can disappear. This balance creates freedom. Fear is a story you tell yourself. Fear rarely comes from reality. It comes from imagination. You fear what might happen. You fear what people might say. You fear what could go wrong. But most of those scenarios never happen. The Stoic separates facts from fiction. Fact, you have a challenge.
fiction. This will ruin everything. Fear grows when imagination replaces logic. Control the story in your mind, and fear shrinks. Courage is not the absence of fear. Even the greatest Stoics felt fear, but they did not obey it. Courage means acting despite discomfort. It means speaking when nervous, trying when uncertain, continuing when tired. Bravery is discipline over emotion, and discipline can be trained. Betrayal and disappointment. At some point, someone will disappoint you. A friend, a partner, a colleague. You trusted them. They failed you. The natural reaction is anger, but the Stoic asks, did I control their character or only my expectations? Disappointment often comes from unrealistic expectations. Instead of saying, how could they? Say, they acted according to who they are. Now you decide how to respond, not emotionally, but intelligently. Expect imperfection. People are flawed. You are flawed. Mistakes are human. The Stoic does not expect perfection. He expects human behavior. When you expect flaws, you are less shocked by them. Tolerance increases. Frustration decreases. Handling success without arrogance. Failure tests character. Success reveals it. When things go well, ego grows. Pride whispers, you are superior. The Stoic resists this trap. Success is temporary. Status is fragile. Public praise is unstable. Stay humble, because today's applause can become tomorrow's criticism. The ego is the real enemy. Most conflicts are ego battles. You want to win the argument. You want to prove you are right. You want recognition. But ego creates emotional instability. The Stoic focuses on truth, not victory. Sometimes being calm is more powerful than being right. The power of self-respect. Self-respect is different from pride. Pride depends on others. Self-respect depends on principles. You build self-respect by keeping promises to yourself, acting with integrity, choosing discipline over comfort. Every time you break your word to yourself, confidence weakens. Every time you keep it, confidence grows. Control your morning. How you start your day matters. If you wake up and immediately check notifications, your mind becomes reactive. Instead, begin with intention. Ask yourself, what kind of person will I be today? Calm, disciplined, focused? Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes destiny. Control your evenings. Before sleep, review your day. Where did you lose patience? Where did you show strength? Where did ego interfere? Reflection is mental sharpening. Without reflection, you repeat patterns. With reflection, you evolve. You cannot avoid pain. Pain is part of life. Physical pain, emotional pain, disappointment. But suffering, that is optional. Pain is an event. Suffering is a reaction. The Stoic feels pain, but refuses unnecessary suffering. Comparison destroys peace. Modern life makes comparison easy. You compare income, you compare lifestyle, you compare progress, but comparison steals gratitude. Someone will always have more. Someone will always be ahead. The Stoic compares only one thing, who I was yesterday versus who I am today. That is the only competition that matters. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. Impulsive decisions create chaos. Calm decisions create progress. When pressured, slow down. When angry, pause. When excited, think. Emotional spikes lead to poor judgment. Stability leads to wise action. Build internal validation. If you rely on likes, comments, or applause, you will always feel unstable. External validation fluctuates. Internal validation is steady. Ask yourself, did I act with integrity today? If yes, you have succeeded, even if no one noticed. Train the mind like a muscle. The mind is not naturally disciplined. It must be trained, just like the body. Daily practice strengthens control. Daily awareness builds resilience. Daily discipline builds freedom. The Stoics treated philosophy as training, not theory, not inspiration, training. The calm mind wins in chaos. In chaos, most people panic. They react emotionally. They blame others. They rush decisions. The Stoic slows down. He observes. He thinks. He acts deliberately. Chaos tests emotional stability, and emotional stability creates leadership. Protect your energy. Energy is limited. Stop wasting it on arguments with strangers, online negativity, unnecessary drama. Protect mental space. Protect focus. Protect peace. Because clarity requires energy. Advanced Stoic exercise, the view from above. Imagine rising above your body, above your room, above your city, above your country. Now look down at your life from the sky. Your worries look smaller, your problems look temporary, your stress looks insignificant. This practice, often called the view from above, was used by Stoics like Marcus Aurelius to reduce ego and anxiety. When you zoom out, emotion shrinks, perspective expands. Handling public criticism. If you create content, if you build something, if you lead, you will be criticized. It is not optional. Criticism comes in two forms: constructive, destructive. Learn to separate them. Constructive criticism improves you. Destructive criticism reveals insecurity in others. The Stoic listens carefully, but does not absorb negativity. If criticism is true, improve. If it is false, ignore. Simple. The discipline of not complaining. Complaining feels relieving, but it changes nothing. When you complain, you focus on what is wrong. When you act, you focus on what is possible. The Stoic replaces complaints with solutions. Instead of, "This is unfair," he asks, "What can I do next?" That question builds power. Detachment in relationships. Love deeply, but understand reality. People change, circumstances shift, nothing is permanent. Detachment does not mean coldness, it means awareness. When you understand that people are temporary, you appreciate them more, and you cling less. Clinging creates fear, understanding creates peace. When you feel overwhelmed. Overwhelm happens when you look at everything at once. Too many problems, too many tasks, too many expectations. The Stoic simplifies. What is in front of me right now? Handle that, then move to the next. Life is lived moment by moment, not all at once. The strength of patience. Impatience creates frustration. Patience creates progress. Nature moves slowly. Growth takes time. Mastery requires repetition. But modern culture wants instant results. The Stoic understands timing. He focuses on consistent effort, not quick success. Failure is feedback. Failure is not identity. It is information. If something does not work, it teaches. If you fall, you learn balance. The Stoic sees failure as training, not proof of weakness. Every mistake contains a lesson, if ego does not block it. The power of self-control. Self-control is freedom. If you cannot control your impulses, you are controlled by them. Control over anger, desire, distraction, procrastination. This builds mental strength. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. Freedom is choosing what is right, even when it is hard.